Welcome to Bleachers and Speakers. I'm your host, June, and today I will not even try to attempt to do a monologue like Dave. I will not. That is not in the plans. I'm not trying to compete with that. When it's his turn to host, you'll get the full shebang. I will not do it. I'm just going to introduce myself. I'm going to let you guys know that this is the NFC North Division roundup, a roundtable where I talk to my division counterparts in FFSN. I will let them introduce themselves. I'm sorry, Dave. You're going to have to you keep that title of the monologue king, and I'll let you guys introduce yourself. And Foster, you go last since it's our show, technically. So we'll start off with Dave and let Dave tell the people who he is. He can do some of his monologue now, though.
If I'd thought of some. Hey, everybody, I'm Dave from Vikings First and Skull. I represent the Minnesota Vikings. I've been a blogger on this team for over 2 decades. That's right. Well, over 2 decades. And I've rolled through it all, the highs and the lows, the roller coasters, the ups and the downs. And presently my team is on a down, but hopefully they're on their way back up as we head into the playoffs. But we've got some great teams here in the NFC North. We possibly may even have 3 make the playoffs.
Chris. That would be
Thanks
awesome.
a lot. You said 3 teams make the playoffs?
As it sits right now, that's what it's looking like.
Well, I mean, it won't be my team. The Chicago Bears. Hey, everybody, it's Pay from the Bear Claw podcast, also on Fans First Sports Network. I've been a rabid and frustrated Bear fan for over 30 years. If you can name a bad quarterback, I bet you he's playing for the Bears.
Wow.
It's been a trying time, and Dave just reminded me that 3 teams, well, once again, 3 teams are better than us in this division. Basement Bears.
Pay, it hasn't always been. You're talking, you got a Lions fan here. You can't, you're not in this alone.
No, you're right. You're right. It's one of the things I love about doing this show every week. I'm not in this futility, frustrated football energy by myself.
No.
We've got some we've got some like feelings in this space.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Boss?
Yeah, it's Foster Child, the second half of the Bleachers, the Speakers crew, and Lions, man, coming off a win, man. I'm okay. I'm cool. I'm good.
And I am June, Bleachers, the Speakers representative. I'm not confident, Foster, with this defense, though. We talked about it, and this defense scares me.
Plus, you got a whole bunch of injuries, don't you, on the defensive side?
We just got word that our starting Aleem McNeil is just got on the injured list. I think that's for the season once you go at this point, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so he's out of there.
Yeah. Once you hit the IR this late in the season, it's a wrap.
Wow.
Maybe come back for the playoffs. Maybe.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. Like the Lions have had their share of injuries, like everyone else. So there's no crying. It's a tough sport. We're fortunate to be where we're at with all the injuries. We could be in a different kind of boat with the injuries, win-loss wise. So it is what it is. We got to take it with a grain of salt. Today we can talk about, I want to get into what we have left for the remainder of the season. I got a picture from Dave earlier, and what I'll do is I'll put it on the screen here, and we'll take a gander at it, and we'll look at what we have left And if you want to start if you want to break down how you foresee the rest of the season for your teams in the remaining games, go for it, man.
Sure. So the Bears have their rematch with your Detroit Lions coming up this week 14. After that, we've got a couple of nondescript games. We got to see Cleveland with they're on their fifth quarterback. We got to see Arizona, who's on their third quarterback, who's actually their first quarterback. It's a weird situation. They're tanking for a quarterback. Got to see Atlanta, who's back to their first, who went to their second and third, back to the first, like I said, who's also supposedly tanking for a quarterback. Then we got the Packers that finished the season up, who may or may not have a quarterback. I don't know. We thought Jordan Love might be a bridge to another quarterback. We thought they were tanking. Then he started to be professional. Then he started to be excellent. So we don't know what to expect Green Bay. And Dave just let us know that they're actually in playoff contention, which fooled the hell out of me. So as it relates for the Bears, they can actually split these. Well, it's five games left, so they can probably win 2 out of the last 5, which is close to a split as it relates to the Bears. They've had the talent to. They've been playing well over the last half month. The defense is now one of the league leaders in turnovers. They've clawed their way, no pun intended, into the top 10 of total defense. If they continue in that path, the Bears can actually put up a good fight against at least all 5 of these teams, to be honest with you. I just laid it out. All these teams down here have questionable quarterbacks, questionable offenses. It's not outside the possibility that the Bears can have a winning record down the last 5 weeks of the season. Do I want that to happen? Absolutely not. The Bears are playing for the future. 2023 has come and gone for the Bears. Let's focus on what we can do to make sure 2024 doesn't go the exact same way. And the best way to do that is to keep your eyes set on having 2 top 5 picks in that April draft.
And Eberflus is head coach.
Oh, Eberflus is going to be a fantastic defensive coordinator for some team next season.
So, with Dave, you can go next and talk about the rest of the season, looking at your schedule. And I'm looking, and it looks very interesting.
Well, Vikings presently sit at 6-6. Mm-hmm. We should be a lot better than that, but the one thing that has been our Achilles heel this year, besides Achilles heels, is turning over the ball. And we've done it 24 times in 12 games. We did it 4 times last week prior against the Bears. And it's got to stop. If it stops, we beat anybody, just about anybody. I wouldn't put us against San Francisco, but we beat just about anybody. And we beat San Francisco earlier. But we have, heading this week, we go out to Las Vegas to play the Raiders.
That's a win.
That's an afternoon game, and I've already read today where 54% of the tickets have been sold to Vikings fans. So that is a good thing. Then we go on the road to Cincinnati, which we thought would be Burrow's injured, he's out. That should be pretty simple, right? No. They played well last week, so it's going to be interesting. And then, of course, the big finale. Detroit, Green Bay, and then at Detroit to finish out the season. And that's going to determine who the division champ is. Yes, we're 3 games behind right now, the Detroit Lions. But as we look at the Lions schedule, or going to here shortly, you can see where as long as we only get 2 behind, we can pull it out. And there's a way for the Lions to drop and get to that point. And I'm sure Foster will discuss just that now.
Yes. So obviously we have a tough divisional game at Chicago, which is pending well, the weather part is pending. I think it's gone back and forth between rain and snow. But yeah, that's going to be a tough one. The Bears are coming in there with a chip on their shoulder. Obviously, after a tough ball game in Detroit. And it's just tough to beat divisional teams twice in a row, especially after we probably should have lost the first time. But moving forward, we got a home game against Denver. Denver just lost to the Texans, but they also have a mobile quarterback. So
Texans are pretty good, though.
Texans are pretty good. Yeah, the Texans are pretty good. So so it doesn't really say much about whether or not that's going to be an easy ball game for us.
Right.
I think we play better on the road, to be honest. But I think that I don't think that's a major red flag game for us at this point. And obviously, two of the last three are against Minnesota in games that will definitely have some. There's definitely some things to play for both teams. So hard to really say. Hard to really say. We go to Minnesota first, of course, and we do get to finish the year at home, which will be nice. But in between that, we do have the Dallas Cowboys, which I think is going to be a really tough game. Their defense is pretty stout, and offensively they look pretty good as well. So going into Dallas, and this looks like a night game. Is that on a Saturday, or what day is that? Is that a Saturday too?
That would be on a Saturday because New Year's Eve is on a Sunday night.
Gotcha. So and Saturday night game against the Cowboys. That's just going to be awkward looking, but it'll be nice to have a meaningful game against a franchise such as the Dallas Cowboys late in the year on a Saturday. And the Broncos game has also been flexed to a Saturday night game as well. So that's also exciting that the world will get to see the amazing Detroit Lions. But I think the Cowboys game is probably the game that Dave is referring to that will open things up for us to possibly only be 2 games back, maybe.
That's the one I'm counting on. Hey, if the Bears or the Broncos pull it off, I'll be happy there too.
You'll be okay with that too. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. The Lions have definitely pretty much solidified a playoff, a playoff entrance regardless. But of course, we still have a lot to play for. We're still playing for the number 1 NFC team, in general. So with 5 games left, we still got some things to obtain and fight for at this point. So it's gonna be good. But we're not overlooking the Bears, though. That is a game that I foresee to be one of the tougher games left, mostly because of the defense. Yeah.
Did you notice the original time for the Lions versus Denver wasn't always 7:00? It was an earlier game at first.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's because that the 7:00 is how we're flexed into the national. Because what network is that on? Is that on Amazon or
NFL
NBC?
Network?
Oh, that's on NFL World. Yeah, because it's 7:15. Yes.
Okay. So it did. Yes, that changed. I think this week sometime or not too long ago. So
now it'll be local for us. It'll be on the local channels here, but
of course,
nationally it'll be on the NFL Network.
But you are 100% correct, Foster. You guys are still competing for the number 1 seed because presently we have a 3-way tie with the Eagles, San Francisco, and no, not a 3-way tie.
Philly's. I think Philly's
still a game ahead.
Yeah. Philly's still a game ahead. All right,
but
they got to play Dallas,
right?
And it could come down to those guys beating up each other in the end and allowing you guys to squeak in if you can continue to win.
Right.
And last week you almost lost after going out to a 3-touchdown win.
Yeah.
Our lead.
It's what we do. We're cardiac kid. Well, we didn't make a comeback, but we, our hearts though.
Man, this is it does my blood pressure no good, Foster. We can't do that. You can't be up 21 and wonder if you're going to win the game in the fourth quarter. It's just not good. It's not a confidence builder.
The one thing that people said that somebody said was that because we are not used to winning, we focus more on the style points and how things look and not as much on the putting wins on the board. Because when we look,
I think we're so used to losing when something like that happens that we expect it.
Yeah, that too.
We expect something bad to happen. Like my first feeling, because I couldn't watch the game, I'm just getting updates because I was in a meeting, and my first impulse, 21-0 in the first quarter. Oh, this is going too well. Something's bound to happen.
Oh wow, you had it. Oh man, you already could foresee something happening. Huh?
It was like, this is too easy, too early. Like, what's going on here?
It was really easy. I even said that, like 3 straight touchdowns. That was amazing to watch, but it was like, I'm skeptical.
I mean, if you paid attention to the Chargers game, that game started off looking relatively easy.
Yeah.
When we were up 14-0, and it was like, okay. And then here comes the track meet. It's like, wow, like what is going on here?
Well, I'll bet the Dome Patrol broadcasts after that game were priceless.
I want to check that out. I need to see if that episode is up.
Definitely got to tune in and tap in with those guys, because I know they were on the edge of their seats, and I know they're even more frustrated the way they lost. Like they were right there knocking on the door. They were doing everything that they said they couldn't do in the show.
The goal line.
They said they said we don't have a red zone offense. They scored 4 times in the red zone. 4.
The shows are up. I need to see those.
Yeah, so it was really, really bad. They complained about Derek Carr till he got hurt. He's out there doing pretty good. So, off subject though, let me ask you now: did any of you guys this has nothing to do with our division, of course, but did you guys witness the San Francisco and Philly game?
Yeah, I watched it.
Frisco looked really scary, like on both sides of the ball. Both sides. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I mean, they lost a few games because, in my opinion, Debo was hurt, and they're a totally different offense when you have Debo, and that showed last year and the year before. When Debo's on the field, he's a threat. And looked like Philly almost for a second didn't belong. So
Philly's been playing down to their competition all season. They have not looked like the defending conference champion. I mean, their record shows that they're the best, but they haven't. The eye test, they don't pass it. They don't pass the eye test. They don't pass the smell test. San Francisco, on the other hand,
yeah,
when you remove your best playmaker from your offense, you're going to look a lot different. And the way Shanahan's team is, it's almost like a basketball team. It's positionless. They've got guys playing multiple positions. They got Debo lining up all over the field, CMC lining up all over the field. They even do the same thing on defense. They got their two nickel linebackers. They flip from nickel. They're in nickel a lot. They flip to 4-3 to 3-4. They run a lot of different types of things. Chase and Bosa, they go inside and they put their hand down inside and outside. Sometimes Bosa's not even got his hand in the ground. They do a lot of different things. They are a very difficult team to scheme against because of this. And as I was saying about Debo, that offense is it is designed to be lightning fast, lightning strike. If you take the best playmaker off the field, and it makes their DNA a lot different. They're not a traditional team in any way, stretch of the form. So when they're healthy, it is very scary.
Yeah. Hold that thought. We'll see you on the other side in about 15 seconds. If you're listening, it'll be a little longer than that. And we're back. San Francisco. The thing they mentioned on the broadcast that they are just now getting comfortable with their defensive back rotation. They are just now getting set on how they're going to have their corners. And for them to be 9-3, that's scary.
Mhm.
That's scary. That means they tinkered with their defense majority of the year, and now they're comfortable with it. NFC is going to be really, really tough playoff time.
Yeah. If anybody's got to go out there to see them, it's going to be. You laid it out. They got the red carpet right back to the plate, right back into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then we're forgetting about teams like Seattle. That's pretty good, but they're just not in that echelon of wins and losses in comparison to Philly and San Francisco. Seattle's still a pretty good football team. The Rams, they're still clawing. They've played a few games without Stafford, but they're still fighting. So,
Yeah, there's the top 4 teams, which are Philly, San Francisco, you guys, and Dallas are generally considered the top 4 in the NFC. Then you have the next group, which includes the Vikings, the Packers, the Rams, and Seattle.
And they're all fighting and clawing.
And then whoever comes out of the NFC South.
Yeah, that's not an easy out. That middle of the pack you mentioned, those 4 teams, those are not easy outs. I don't care who's playing them. Those are not easy outs. And you still got the NFC South, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, and Saints. They're still in the hunt to win their division.
The only team eliminated from the playoffs so far is not the Chicago Bears. It is the Carolina Panthers. Out of the AFC South.
They're out of there. They are out of there.
Thanks, Carolina.
Yes. As Pay's going, yes. Number 1 pick.
Hey, right. Yeah.
So, Dave, who does Minnesota have this week?
We have the Raiders.
And how do you feel about that game?
I feel this week has been interesting coming off the bye week. We were disgruntled with how the Pasternaut played. Joshua Dobbs with his 4 turnovers, even though at least 2, if not 3, were not his fault, bouncing off receivers' hands and such. There was debate whether we'd go to the 4th quarterback of the year. That seems to be a theme across the league this year. How many quarterbacks can you play in a year and still keep winning? And but they announced today, Coach O'Connell, this is being recorded on Wednesday, that Joshua Dobbs will indeed start. Now, the great news for Minnesota Vikings fans, not only does Joshua Dobbs start, but we get back Justin Jefferson, the best wide receiver in all of the NFL. Tyreek Hill, yes, I give you a hat tip, but when all things are equal, Justin Jefferson is better. Now, we get JJ back, so we should be going up there. We're getting healthier, believe it or not, across the board. For those that aren't on IR or done for the season, that haven't popped their Achilles, there's so we're looking pretty good. Our defense is by numerous metrics. If you take that first month out where they were getting used to the Brian Flores, we're top 5 in almost every category. Our defense, Brian Flores is doing a remarkable deal, and he's reinventing a defense, or not reinventing, he's inventing a defense that has never been seen before in the NFL. And if folks go, well, Dave, is it a 3-4 or a 4-3? It's neither. It's more like a 6-1-4 or a 6-2-3.
6 on the line, you're saying?
We have 6 up front. Now, are they all defensive tackles and edge rushers, the big round bellies? Oh, no, they're not. Right. Most of them are like Josh Metellus, one of our safeties, or the perennial Pro Bowler, Harry the Hitman Smith. He'll come up. Everybody comes up to that line, and what they're doing is they're confusing quarterbacks and offensive lines as to who's coming, who's going, who's dropping back. And they do this almost every play of the game. You know, Minnesota has the highest blitz rate in the league, but they're doing this almost every play. And after a while, everybody's head starts swimming on the offensive side, and it's causing all sorts of havoc everywhere. And we're playing that, and you would think with 6 men in the box, you'd have to play man in the back. Right. No, we're not playing man. We're playing zone. Only it looks like man. And it's causing quarterbacks and offensive coordinators headaches all over the place. Can we get beat? Yes, we can get beat. If they nail it right, we can get beat. And that's no problem. We'll deal with that. But I think the defense has given up like 1 touchdown and 12 points or something in the last few weeks. They're playing at the top of their game. So if the offense comes around with JJ back there, Dobbs hopefully not throwing stupid interceptions or dropping the ball, we should be pretty good. But the Raiders do have a couple good edge rushers that are going to test our tackles. Now, we just happen to have 2 of the best offensive tackles in the league. That's going to be fun to watch. But it should be a decent game, but I fully anticipate that the Vikings, who play better on the road than they do at home for some silly reason this year, will come out with the victory in Vegas. And hopefully no players do anything stupid on their time off while in Vegas.
Right.
Leave that for the fans.
Hey, who we got next? Who you got next, Pay?
Each other.
Oh, wow. Foster, well, we'll let Pay. Pay, how do you feel about this game coming up versus Detroit? I've been waiting to hear this.
So I actually feel I like our chances. As Foster Child eloquently put it earlier, the weather's going to be bear weather come Sunday. It's just going to be cold and miserable. And whether that means snow or rain, it's whatever. It might be both. It's going to be miserable. So that evens the playing field. The slow track. Our Soldier Field is notorious for having terrible field conditions. That brings you all back. That brings you all back down to our level. You can't be as fast on that Soldier Field track. That gives us a puncher's chance. I like our chances. And Justin Fields has always performed really well against Detroit. I don't know what it is. Maybe he likes the blue. Maybe he likes performing against blue, seeing that he's a scarlet and gray type of guy.
Right.
But
he was a Georgia guy first.
Oh yeah. He's from Georgia. He's from Georgia, and they wear red too. So it's going to be an interesting game. Now, do I expect the Bears to fumble the game away as they've done the last 2 times they played the Detroit Lions? I would not be shocked. Again, Foster Child said it's hard to beat a team twice, beat a division team twice. But the Bears, prior to this last game against the Vikings, the Bears had lost 12 straight division games. So it's not outside of the realm of possibility.
That's crazy.
You can sweep this team. So for this game, it's going to be it's a tough one to predict, just because the Bears are coming off a bye and have been playing well. So you don't know if that's going to carry on. You know, this is a young team. They've been prone to brain farts. However, yeah, a lot of things are pointing in their favor. I wouldn't be shocked if the Bears kept this close and possibly pulled it out.
Okay. Foster, how you feel about this game?
Yeah, like I said previously, I think it's going to be a competitive game. The weather will definitely play a factor, but I do feel like our style of play is very balanced. We do have a good running attack, which, and Montgomery gets another opportunity to sock it to his ex-team. Gibbs is coming on. He is looking better and better every week. Our tight end, Sam Laporta, is probably, top 3 and not 3 in the entire league right now. So the offense, I do not foresee having too many issues, but the Bears do have some tough guys on defense. They created at least 4 turnovers because they got 4 interceptions. I don't know if they drew a fumble as well. So it's going to be a battle. As far as the Lions defensive side, something in me feels a small level of optimism, despite the fact that we did struggle against the Saints. Our rookie linebacker, Jack Campbell, had a pretty good game filling in for Anzalone. I'm not sure what his Anzalone status is, but I think that in the event that he has to go, it has to be the starting middle linebacker. I think he does well. Brian Branch is starting to show what we saw early in the season. He had another interception last week. And even though Aleem McNeil, who's having a breakout year this year, is injured likely for the rest of the year, I feel like we're pretty deep on the interior side of things on the line. We do have Isaiah Buggs, who hasn't played a whole lot this year, but this is an opportunity for him to, step right in and show why we re-signed him. We got a guy out of the practice squad, Bohanna, who stepped in and who's done well. And we actually signed a guy off the practice squad. Oh, well, Bruce Irvin. Bruce Irvin had a sack and a key QB pressure, which ended up injuring Derek Carr. So it just goes to show that even on the older guys on the practice squad, we're able to, step in and make some noise. He only had 11 snaps, I believe, last week. So I think they're going to ramp that up for him. At least that's what Coach Campbell said. And we got another guy who played for the Steelers last year, and he actually played with Isaiah Buggs in Pittsburgh. So he looked, he made a post and was pretty excited that his one of his boys from Pittsburgh is got signed. So we probably won't see him this week, but in the upcoming weeks, Tyson Alawalu is the guy's name. I'm curious to see where he feels, is able to, fill in some gaps as well. So, I think the defense is maybe a little bit better off than than I know the fans are in a panic right now because of the defense. And you would think that we're not 9-3. You would think that we were actually 3-9 with the way it's the stir up on Twitter is about the defense. So I'm optimistic. We will certainly see how things go. Hopefully we see a lot of Cam Sutton on DJ Moore, more so than what's his name? Jerry Jacobs. Because for whatever reason, he ends up on the top receiver quite a bit. And I just don't really understand. I don't know if they keep it to left corner, right corner, or what that is. But Jerry Jacobs always ends up on Olave, DK Metcalf, and all these, all the top guys for whatever reason. But Cam Sutton, he ends up the game with not too many targets and not too many tackles because they don't even throw his direction. So I think we pull off the game in maybe a sloppy, low-scoring game, depending depending on the weather.
I want to piggyback off that, Foster, because I feel like the offense gives us a puncher's chance in a lot of these games, but I see it as the offense being prolific and the defense is horrific.
We got some turnovers. We got some turnovers last week now.
You can't be 9-3 and they're that bad.
They were bad late.
As of late, late in the game and the last half of the year.
Later on in the season, they have been bad. Now, against Kansas City, they looked very good. Against Seattle, didn't look so good. Couple games after that, they looked good. But the last 4 or 5 games, that defense makes you wonder, like, does this defense belong on a playoff team?
Well, I hope to see that bad defense or worse in week 16 and 18. Well,
it's like this, right? Anytime you have a mobile quarterback or an RPO or prolific wide receivers, Detroit has issues. And it's just
nowadays everybody's got a good at least one good receiver, but
I'm talking in regards to Minnesota. They have about 3.
It's true.
And that's without Jefferson.
That's without him.
So, it just that kind of game worries me. I don't know what his name is, but there's the guy opposite of DJ Moore, the little speedy. I think he's number 11. Am I correct?
Who is that?
Darnell Mooney.
Oh, Mooney.
Pretty good receiver there, and he did some damage versus the Lions first game. You already got to worry about DJ Moore. So it's just one of those things with the Lions is you just don't know. You're hoping for the best when it comes to the defense, and lately they haven't shown or put their best foot forward. We knew after losing CJ Gardner Johnson early that the defensive backfield would suffer a little bit, and we also lost Mosley, the corner who we hope to come in and step in and be an integral part of the defensive backfield. We expected that to happen. Then you have all these injuries to our linebacking core and interior defense. It's been one roller coaster. So
if you worry about mobile quarterbacks, you got Justin Fields next this weekend. He's mobile.
Yes.
Then you have Russell Wilson, who is not as mobile as he used to be.
They're still running RPO for him, though.
Mm-hmm. Then you have Josh Dobbs. Then you have Dak Prescott. And then, again, Josh Dobbs.
It might be Dobbs. Or, you said now it is Dobbs.
Right now it is.
Okay.
And most likely it will be.
Damn.
If we switch, hopefully it's not Nick Mullins. But if we switch, it'll probably be Jaron Hall, and we'll already have been eliminated, and we're playing for next year. But I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping we're fighting for the division title to defend the North.
That would be crazy. That would be.
Now, speaking of the North, we represent 3 teams. We represent the Bears, the Lions, and the Vikings. Well, as everybody knows, the NFC North has a 4th team. And if you are a podcaster, YouTuber, writer that would like to represent that 4th team, the Green Bay Packers, please contact Fans First Sports Network and we'll hook you up because we need somebody here to banter with during the week. We miss it. Yes, we miss it because who else is there to come and tell us they have a professional quarterback and that they are so good and have so many titles? Yes, we miss that team representative. Now, they did play last week, and thanks to the Zebras, they helped defeat the Kansas City Chiefs there at the end. Now, that's the view of NFC North teams. I'm sure your view may be different, but that happened. They moved up to 6-6. They now have a remaining schedule. They are now in the 7th seed for the NFC playoffs if it ended today. Their remaining schedule has them going to New York to play the Giants for a primetime game. And if you're the rest of the NFC North, do not hold your breath that they're going to lose to the Giants, because I don't think anybody loses to the Giants. And so they'll chalk up another victory. Then we can hope for when they play Tampa Bay the next week. Hopefully Tampa Bay will be a little bit feisty and fighting for their division, and they'll come out. Then they go against Carolina, who's already eliminated. So there's another win. Then we have them on Christmas Eve in our place. That'll be the whiteout game where everything in the dome will be white. And then they end up the season in the TBD game, probably on the Saturday. I think most teams will play on the Saturday against the Chicago Bears. So hopefully the Bears will be kicking their ass by that time as well. But that is the other team. Now, if you're listening to our show and you want to represent the Packers and you wish to dispute how I view things from a purple lens, come on up. Go over to fansfirstsportsnetwork.com, and there's a button on there where you can contact them and say, hey, I want to represent.
Okay.
I hope the Bears are the.
Hold that thought 1 second, Pay. We're back. Pay, go ahead and finish your thought. I'm sorry we had to stop for a break, but go ahead and please finish your thought.
Oh, no. I love it. Letting the advertisers get their spiel in too. I just wanted to say, you rattled off some an easy schedule down the stretch for those Packers. I hope that they need a win to get into the playoffs and go into week 18. And that's the things dreams are made of right there.
Yes, it is. I hope we're at that position, and I'll be rooting for the Bears. Have my Father in heaven screaming with me. Yes.
The Lions did that last year, right? That's what we
yes, you did.
Felt good. Felt real. It hurt to be eliminated early. What was it? The Seahawks, or we needed somebody to do something, but
it was the Seahawks.
Yes. But it felt good to spoil Aaron Rodgers, last little situation, and bittersweet, but
misery loves company.
We weren't that miserable. But
no, I was. I was very miserable. I was like, what? Come on back over here, Packers.
Right.
Come on back and sit right next to me, and let's watch all of the playoff games together.
Right.
That made it all the better.
Yeah, they just they hit a little bit of a stride there. I think they developed an identity towards the end of the season here, where I remember things changed after that first half versus the Lions. That offensive line was there was a party in the backfield all the first half. Second half, they didn't give up any sacks until the end. And next thing you know, you hear the announcers every game. This is a good pass blocking team. So they've developed an identity to be able to pass block, and Jordan Love is making some professional throws, some very professional and great throws lately. His receivers are looking like they belong in the NFL. Like they look really good. It's like 3 of them.
Watson.
Watson. I think he got hurt last game. He pulled a hamstring. He had problems with his hamstring. But number 11 from Michigan State, Reed, and you have number 87. He's playing ball. They have another guy that's doing well too. So
Dobbs, or what's his name?
Dobbs,
yeah.
Oh, Dobson or whatever. It starts with a D.
But
they're getting open, and he's getting the ball to him. And then you throw in the running back, number 28, the big guy, he's starting to get him in chunks as well. So
Dylan, yeah.
Dylan, they're starting to play better offensively, and that defensive line looks very, very, very scary. So I hate to say all this too. It pains me to say this, but
Do we have the worst defense in the North? The Lions?
might be the worst defense in the league.
No, man. No.
It's ranked pretty low.
Yeah.
You've got some horses, so I will be surprised
We
if they
stopped the
were that.
run. We stopped the run, though, I feel like.
I think they're like 28th in pass defense.
I believe that.
The Lions are ranked number 19 in total defense.
Okay. So
mid-league.
Below mid, but close to mid.
Yeah, so and I'm pretty sure the teams in our division rank a little higher than that on defensively.
I think the Bears edged up into the top 10, if I'm not mistaken.
The Lions ranked number 13 in pass defense. Above average.
Oh, wow. That's surprising.
Never would have guessed.
That's surprising.
So wait, the run stopping is what's
no, what it is, Foster, is golf is giving teams a short field, so they don't have to pass much.
Not that much, but
number 28 in rush defense.
Oh, let me read this. Yeah. Let me
wow.
read this comment from Hatter's House 710. Next year is when the Lions will have somewhat decent defense. This year they are lacking too much talent along with a couple of lesser factors. The one thing we're good at is the run.
That's what I thought.
It's an optical illusion.
It's an illusion?
Statistically ranked pretty low in stopping the run.
Okay. I would have not.
DVOA has you, what is it? 7th against the run.
See, that's what I've been reading.
Hey, Pay, don't try to do these before the game tricks, man. Give us our real stats. Don't act like that. He's doing that because we're playing them next week. Don't do us like that. Give us our real stats.
I'll give you a real one. The worst defense collectively in the division is still Chicago.
Oh, is it? Okay. I don't know why.
You know what? With the weather being like it is, I don't see and golf throwing his wobblers in the wind. I don't see a lot of
wobblers in the wind. That sounds
wobblers in the wind. He throws some wobblers out there. That's just,
he does. Some ducks.
So there it is. I mean, maybe we are better against the run. Thanks for that. For that, Hatter's House. Appreciate that. Foster, you were right. I'm sorry.
I started to.
I was listening to the enemy, man. I can't listen to Pay on game week.
The ops will do that to you.
Yeah, I can trust him any other week, but no.
The weather might be okay though. I don't know.
Actually, it's getting warmer around here starting this weekend, starting tomorrow. So that game could be in the. I don't know what the forecast is, Pay, because I don't know if I should trust you asking you because you gave us some false information a second ago. I got to do my own research, Pay. I don't trust you anymore. If you were in Green Bay, you probably tell us the truth, but I don't trust you. I'm gonna look up the game day forecast because it's supposed to be 50 in Detroit.
It's 37 and partially sunny from what I can see in Chicago.
Oh, that's a big difference though when it's supposed to be here. 13, 14 degrees is a big difference.
Yeah, but it's not about the temp. It's about the the other
precipitation
more than anything. Precipitation and wind.
Soldier Field is right on the lake shoreline. So whatever that number says, you feel free to subtract about 10.
Wow, the temperature. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to feel that way. That wind comes up over the stadium and down into it, and it's cold.
We just gotta run the ball effectively, and I think they're going to gang up against that.
No, we got something for Dave this time. Welcome back, King Dave.
Uh-oh. That sounds personal. That sounds real personal. Welcome back, King Dave. Oh, yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
So before
he-
we wrap this up, do you have anything you'd like to put out there? We'll start with you, Pay, before we
This
close the
has
show
been
out.
it's been a great episode again. Good luck to all my division mates going forward in week 13, and I wish you good fortune in the wars to come. You can follow the Bear Claw Pod anywhere you get your pods. That's on Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever. We're also located on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok for all your fan engagement, your memes, your clips, everything of that nature. Come on and show us some subscriber love. We've got the entertainment for you.
Dave.
Hey, I want to say thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate that. Moreoverly, listening, because this is a podcast, will be a podcast, audio only, over on my channel, Vikings First and Skull. You can find Vikings First and Skull on any of your favorite podcast aggregators. Plus, you can find us at Vikings First and Skull on YouTube and at Vikings First and Skull at Fans First Sports Network, where we have a whole written side as well. You can find us just about everywhere when you love to talk purple.
Foster.
We just need to stop DJ Moore. We stop DJ Moore. Fields is going to get his, but if we shut down DJ Moore, we should be all right. But yeah, subscribe to Motor City Metrics. Follow us on all audio streaming platforms, podcast wise, and go Lions, man. Let's get this W, man. 2-0 versus the Bears. Let's get it.
Yeah, I want to say, I'm not going to repeat what Foster said. You know what he said to follow us and catch us, but I want to give kudos and thanks to Hatter's House 710. I haven't seen him on any of our podcasts, and anytime we get someone new that comments and interacts, I just want to thank you for taking the time out to talk with us and chop it up. And you can catch us. What we did was we changed our format, our show. We do a show immediately after the game. We combined our initial reaction with just the regular show. We used to do a regular show, but we would do an initial reaction right after the game. Like soon as they take the last kneel, me and Foster are online talking about the game. Just a quick 5 to 7 minute show, but we got a lot of engagement, and we get a lot of engagement. So we just decided to do the show right after the game. But this weekend, we will not be able to do the show right after the game. We might even miss the game because me and Foster will be in New York City attending an event and the event starts. We have to be there at 1 and kickoff is at 1. So we'll be paying attention to the scores though. And we'll let you know when we're going to shoot the episode. And Adder said he's usually driving when we come on, but I appreciate you for even taking the time to listen when you're driving. That's really dope of you to check us out. So we'll be and tap in with all the shows. Pay has a great show. Dave has a great show. I mean, even if you're not a Vikings or Bears fans, you can get some insight on their fan base and what they're doing. It's always dope. And like I said, these outside of football talk, they're two great guys, and your support is needed and appreciated. We want these channels to grow on these podcasts. Dave has been doing this 20 years, man. I don't see
Not the video side, but yes, commenting.
But still commenting, covering,
Publicly.
So it's like this is me and Foster's first year, so we're trying to get there. So shouts out to Dave. Pay, I don't know how long you've been doing it, but it sounds like you're a vet in this game. And I'm definitely going to start tuning in to your show as well. I haven't been, but I'm going to.
Appreciate it. All the subscriptions is is very well appreciated. Thanks, June.
So we're going to sign off now. You have a great week. Hopefully Sunday's a great week of football. And Pay, I hope the Bears do well, but lose ultimately.
I'm not mad at that.